Well, hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be discussing about few important things or for that matter, essential email etiquettes. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. Now, when it comes to email, today email has taken place almost the 90% of what the physical letters usually were in place. Today we use email for all the things that we do. Even in organization, email has become a very popular choice with the people. So that's why it is important for us to understand how to construct an email, a professional email. Now, when it comes to constructing a professional email, there are four things that you have to keep in mind. One is the subject line. Second is obviously the opening sentence. Third, that you have to keep in mind is that the main body of the topic or the main topic, or for that matter the main message of the email. And fourth is obviously the closing statements. So these are the four essential things for you to remember when it comes to writing an email. Now we'll look into it one by one. I'll explain how these things are important. Now as I mentioned, the first thing that you have to keep in mind is the subject line. When it comes to subject line, the first thing that you have to keep in mind is that you have to use conscious phrase. Phrases like meeting on Tuesday at 10 a.m. in the morning, or a request for request for memo, or request for product detail or stuff like that. Do not use words like important, urgent, or problem or stuff like that. Such words might get into the email filter and they directly go into spam, because many organizations today use such filters so that they don't receive any irrelevant or some importance that are not necessary for them. So in your subject line, make sure you use conscious phrase. Second thing is obviously your opening sentence. Now when it comes to opening sentence, this is actually where the message has to be delivered in a proper way. This is where the actual message starts. Now here you can elaborate on the subject line itself and make an opening sentence so that it would be easier for the person to understand the email in a better way. Now the third thing is obviously the main body of an email. Now when it comes to main body, there are certain things that you have to keep in mind. That is, you have to keep your message pretty short, and it should be of just one topic at a time. Like, you should not talk about multiple things in an email in the same email as well. You should have different approaches, or you should use different like if you want to talk about two topics, you should use two emails. You should send two emails for that. You should not use the same email address to talk about two different things. And with that, keep your message short. And also you can use your tools like pie chart, or any other graphic way to represent or to convey your message in an effective way. And also the other thing that you have to keep in mind when it comes to writing and main body, keep the words short, and also keep it easier for the person to read. So with that, it would be easier for the person to read the entire passage correctly. And the fourth and the most important thing is that closing statement. Now closing statement should be if it is about requesting about certain things, like a request of the product detail, or submission of the report or stuff like that, then you can use such words in the closing statements as well. If your email does not require any request or any other thing, then you can formally say thank you for your support on this project, or thank you for your support, and with that you can end your statements. Yes, so apart from the four things that I just mentioned, there are a few other things as well that play an important role in writing a professional email. Although they are very small things, but still it has to be kept in mind because these things as well play an important role. So the first thing in professional email etiquette is that writing your full name of the person in the from address, and also the person in the to address. Let's say for example, if I am writing an email to Ruchi Sharma, if the person's name is Ruchi Sharma, then I would if the person's email address is Sharma 963 or at gmail.com and such like that, At that place, since the person's email address should be in the to address, then I can write like the name first, Ruchi Sharma. Then on the inverted arrows, I can write the email address, and same goes with the from section as well. Like if I am sending an email, I should write my name, and then in the inverted arrows, I can write my email address. So through that, it would be easier for the person to understand that from whom they are receiving the email, and it would be easier, and it would make your message important, and they might read it quickly, because sometimes it's quite hard for the person to understand from whom they are receiving the email. So that's why writing your name plays a very important role as well in email writing. The next thing that you have to keep in mind whenever you are writing in a professional email is that you all of course might have heard of CC and BCC. I would not be elaborating on what is CC and BCC. In short words, if you are sending an email to a client, if you are sending a product description to the client's email address would be on two sections, and on CC you can include people who are directly involved in this project, or who are directly involved with this project. Let's say for example, if your team leader is involved, then you can include your team leader's email ID on CC, and a few other team members who might not be directly involved in this project, or for that matter sometimes even your branch manager's email address can be added to the BCC sections. The third thing that you have to keep in mind, which is very important, is salutation, which means greetings in the beginning of an email. You can start your greeting in simple ways like respected or dear or hey. Now mind one thing, that all these three things are used in different context as well. Like if you're writing an email to your team leader, you can use hey or dear, of course. If you're writing an email to your branch manager, you would be using respected, and if you're writing to your colleague, it could be dear and stuff like that. So in that way, salutations also plays an important role, not for just in form of respect, but it also shows the starting of your email. So in that way, salutation also plays an important role. The fourth thing is, as I mentioned, the message body, that your message should be to the point. You should just talk about one topic at the time in an email, and few other things like make sure that your entire message body is of, most probably try to construct it in 25 lines, not more than 25 lines. Or if it is not possible for you to construct even in 25 lines, try to make the email short enough that it could be read with one scroll. The person just have to scroll for once to read the entire message. It should not be like two or scrolling back and again to read your entire message. Try to construct an email that is effective to read as well. And the last thing is obviously the closing of your email. Now, as I mentioned, you should include thank you, or please submit your deadline. Please submit the project report by deadline, and in the closing statement. This closing statement, as I was talking about, is something that is different, and that is this would be about once you have done with your thank you, or please submit the project report. It's important for you to write your name at the end, like regards, then your name, and then your organization name if you're working in an organization, and then your phone number or stuff like that, so that it is easier for the person to contact you if necessary as well. So these are the few important and basic email etiquettes that you have to keep in mind. If you want me to do on do a video on how to respond to different email, like how to respond to a request email, how to respond to an invitation, or how to send an email requesting for an sorry, or for apologizing and stuff like that. If you want me to do such videos as well, you can write down on the comment section below as well. So that is it from my side, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you are taking good care of yourself, and yes, stay safe and keep learning.